We got to Copenhagen last night and now we're heading to yoga at a studio that's pretty close by. One of my favorite things to do is to try different yoga classes and CrossFit studios when I'm traveling. I feel like this helps me stay in my routine and really helps with supporting optimal digestion, keeping things moving when you're traveling. Keeping moving, staying hydrated, looking for veggies when you can, trying to keep on a consistent meal schedule is something that might help support you next time you travel. What we have planned for the day is a coffee shop, and then we are going to wander around a little bit, and when I get home I'll show you some things that I like to pack to support my gut while traveling. So we got a couple of pastries and a coffee, and coffee is something that my clients ask me about all the time in terms of, can I drink coffee? What's the best way to drink coffee if you have acid reflux or digestive issues? And always have something with it or before. So never have coffee on an empty stomach. Don't be afraid to ask to see if they have decaf espresso. A lot of places do. Having it with a little bit of milk or oat milk can decrease the acidity. Also, don't be afraid to ask for just one shot. If you feel like 2 shots is going to be too much for you, you can even just do decaf 1 shot with milk. A lot of people with reflux can actually tolerate that when they have that with food. So hopefully that helps. You a few things that I bring with me to help prevent symptoms and take care of my gut when traveling. One thing is electrolytes. These are the IQ brand. I really like putting this in my water bottle. I always bring a reusable water bottle to stay hydrated, but electrolytes are really stimulating if you struggle with constipation when you travel. These are the IQ brand. They do have citric acid though. If you have reflux, I recommend making your own. I have a video that I will link up here on how to make your own homemade electrolytes so that you don't have ones with citric acid. One other thing that I think is so helpful when you're dining out, if you are sensitive to Fodmaps like garlic, onion, wheat, lactose, beans, if you get bloating with any of those foods, this is really, really helpful. And bloating can also contribute to acid reflux. If you're having a lot of bloating, this can put a lot of pressure on the lower esophageal sphincter. So preventing bloating is key for preventing reflux. And these are Fodzyme packets. I love these to sprinkle on your food. It helps break down Fodmaps to prevent bloating. So if you're dining out, if you're eating a meal that's higher in garlic, onion, beans, lactose, or fructan from wheat, this is a great thing to take with you. How you use these is you sprinkle 1 packet on every 30 minutes when you're dining out. So if you're dining out longer than 30 minutes, you just add another packet. I will put my link for these down below because I have a discount for you. Another thing that I always bring is bars. When you have acid reflux or digestive issues, it's really important to stay on a consistent meal schedule. And so people may have different eating schedules than you. If you're going really long times without eating, this can lead to overeating at the next meal, which can trigger bloating, reflux, digestive issues. So I really like these Kind bars. The caramel sea salt one doesn't have any chocolate, so it's great acid reflux friendly. And then I also got these white chocolate barbell bars just because this was the only things at 7-Eleven. But I grabbed those. All right, a couple other things that I never travel without. This is the throat coat tea by Traditional Medicinals. If you follow me on Instagram, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm obsessed with this to coat and soothe the throat if you're struggling with reflux. This is awesome. If you feel burning in the throat, burning in the chest, this is a great thing to bring with you as sort of a remedy. But the herbs in this are also awesome for digestion and soothing inflammation in the stomach, gastritis. So it's a great thing if you're having like an upset stomach while traveling. Protein is essential to support your gut motility, also helps with blood sugar control. So I always bring little packets of collagen and bone broth. These are the bare bones bone broth packets. I add this into hot water, the bone broth, for a really nice boost of protein. There's 10 grams of protein per packet. These also have 10 grams of protein. These are collagen packets, and I will link my Amazon travel essentials down below so you can find these. Lastly, gum. So chewing bubble gum is a really great way to prevent reflux after a meal because your saliva is very basic It has bicarbonate in it, so it neutralizes acidic reflux and can help if you have LPR, which is the throat symptoms of reflux, the throat burning. Getting that continued swallow of alkaline saliva can be really helpful. Secondly, the continued swallow when you're chewing gum can really help with esophageal motility if you have esophageal dysmotility, and that's why your reflux is happening. So I always bring a fruit flavor gum. The best fruit flavors would be bubble and watermelon. This is a citrus flavor, so some people might find that not the best, but it's better than mint if you have reflux, because you don't want to have mint if you struggle with reflux. And yes, I know that this has aspartame in it, but I truly feel that it's such a small amount, and preventing reflux is more important than avoiding aspartame, because we know reflux is more damaging than a little bit of aspartame. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. We're gonna go grab some pastries and I will catch up with you soon. Got out of a super sweaty class at the Butcher's Lab, which is a CrossFit gym in Copenhagen. It's really great. Highly recommend you do it if you like CrossFit and you come here. But one thing I talk to my clients about a lot when they're traveling is sticking with the habits and routines that help them feel their best. So one thing that really helps me feel my best is waking up, having a tea, doing like a 5-minute meditation, and getting in some kind of movement, whether it's a walk around where I'm staying or a local fitness class. That really grounds me in my day and helps me feel energized and helps me prevent constipation, which is really common with traveling. All of our routines are not gonna stay, you know, we're not gonna have time to do every single thing that makes us feel our best, but really sticking with the ones that matter the most, like hydration, movement, whatever really matters to you. Maybe that's journaling, checking in with yourself in the morning, prioritizing that so that you can feel your best when you're traveling. Yesterday was a really fun day. We had lots of really good food. We're heading to a bakery now and going to get a coffee. Today we went to a museum called the Happiness Museum, and it was all data and research from different countries and what they have found that increases happiness and quality of life, and different statistics about what makes a population happy. So that was really cool. It's a really good reminder about work-life balance. And we also stopped at a really cute cafe, had some steamed buns, some tea, warmed up. Tonight we're going to a restaurant. It's called Geranium, and it's been voted the #1 restaurant in the world for the past 3 years. It's going to be such a treat. Really excited for that. If you're new to my channel, by the way, my name is Molly. I'm a registered dietitian specializing in digestive health. Most of my content has to do with acid reflux, digestive health. A lot of my clients will ask me how I take care of my gut while I travel, and what sorts of things that I eat in my own life and what sort of things I avoid. There's a lot of information about nutrition on the internet and on social media about foods to avoid, and I find it a much more helpful approach to think about what foods to include in your diet to optimize gut health. So thinking about proteins, fruits and vegetables, antioxidant rich foods like fruits and vegetables, and omega-3 rich foods. So we're always looking for fatty fish and nuts and seeds, healthy fats. So I generally keep that in mind in my day-to-day life, but when I travel, I really like to enjoy different types of food. So throughout this video, you've seen me eat lots of different things that wouldn't be quote-unquote healthy, but I think it's really important to have that balance within your own life so that your nutrition is sustainable. And nutrition is so much more than just food. It's connection, it's memories, enjoyment, celebration. So it's really important to allow yourself to enjoy these foods when you're traveling, and just understanding the portion size that will feel good for your body. But diversifying your diet is not only important for your enjoyment of life, but also your microbiome. Research has shown that a diverse diet full of different types of foods actually is what supports a diverse and robust microbiome. So including a wide variety of foods in your diet is really helpful for supporting overall microbiome health, which supports your overall health and immune system. Traveling used to be a really anxiety-provoking experience for me when I struggled with IBS and acid reflux, because I didn't know what foods were going to be available. I didn't know where they came from, what ingredients they might have. So tonight is a really special experience, not only because it's the #1 restaurant in the world, but also because I now have this flexibility and this confidence to enjoy food where I don't know what's going to be served. We don't get to choose what's on the menu, but because I have done this work to support my gut health and my digestion, I don't have that anxiety about food anymore. So I'm really excited to be able to just enjoy the flavors and be present at the meal. So I'll be taking along with me tonight and showing you what we get served. So Geranium is actually located on the 8th floor of the Common Gardens, which is a building in the center of Copenhagen. And as soon as you enter, you are just welcomed into one of the most beautiful restaurants I've ever been into. It's so simple. Scandinavian design is absolutely incredible and just very calming. One of my favorite parts about this experience was being situated right in front of the staging kitchen. So they have another kitchen behind us where, you know, a lot of the cooking is really going on, but they were plating all of the dishes, and it was such a cool experience to see. You get the menu in this envelope and you open it at the table, and there are 4 appetizers, about 7 savory servings or savory dishes, and then also 6 sweet dishes, which is my favorite part. I love that there are so many different types of sweets. We started with the salted herring dish with algae, and then these beets that were shaped in hearts, and they were so delicious, with some kale, the horseradish, which sounds like something I would hate, but it was absolutely delicious. And this was a really interesting dish with smoked snail eggs, which also doesn't sound great, but it was delicious. And then the savory servings started after the appetizers with this little hazelnut oil and celeriac soup, which was so delicious and savory and creamy. As you can see, I loved it. And then it came with these little mushroom branches, which were delicious and honestly one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. The service was also incredible. Everyone was so nice and relaxed, even though it's, you know, a really upscale restaurant. It was very, very relaxed and welcoming. We also had some delicious scallops. They were perfectly cooked, of course, and absolutely delicious. One of my favorite dishes was the bread pancake. This was so beautiful with these flowers and the design. It was like a scallion pancake, but so much better. Then we had this, what they call today's harvest from the plant kingdom, which was featuring seasonal and local vegetables from the farmer's market. It was truly amazing. A very cool part of the experience was getting to take a tour of the facilities, and we got to see where the wine is stored. They have over 25,000 bottles of wine and a really amazing wine selection. We also got to see the prep kitchen and learn more about how they prep for the day. It really felt like being in one of the chef shows on Netflix. It was so much fun. And then we got back from the tour, and this dish was sea buckthorn, carrot, pumpkin seeds, and white chocolate. So delicious and beautiful, just like the rest of the dishes. Then dark chocolate and roasted grain infusion. These were tiny little bites of chocolate and were so much fun to eat. Honestly, everything we tried was incredible. No notes. Everything was delicious, and it was such a fun experience. And then the last course was a combination of 3 desserts. It was a chocolate and then a cake with elderberry and apple brandy and these crispy flowers that were made with spices. Such a fun time. The wine was delicious, and so glad we were able to go. It's our last morning here. We're just getting ready to pack up and head to our hotel for our last night before we fly out. The food was absolutely incredible at Geranium. It was a really great experience. Everything from the food to the people to being able to watch them in the service kitchen in the front, assembling everything. It was such an awesome, awesome experience. I'm having some bone broth before we head out. I did a quick meditation on the FLORA app this morning just to kind of start my day, and had some water. But one thing I've noticed so far about the people here in Denmark and Nordic people in general is how much attention to detail they have when it comes to design, when it comes to food, also just, you know, the way that they interact is so kind and warm. And I feel like they are a really hardworking people, but also a really gentle, kind, warm people. They know how to balance work and play. The work-life balance here seems really, really great. And so it's been really, really inspiring to see that, and definitely something that I want to take with me when I get back home. Good morning, friends. It's our last morning. We're heading out back to San Francisco today. But it was such an incredible trip. The food was absolutely amazing. Yesterday we went to the food hall, the famous food hall in Copenhagen. I can't pronounce the name, but I'll put it right here. And I will also put in the description everywhere we went, all of the restaurants we went to. But it was such a fun experience to taste all the flavors of Copenhagen and really understand. I think that we really got a good flavor of the culture as well. And I'm so inspired by the way that they live here. Just the way of the Nordic people. Like, they have such a great work-life balance. They really work hard, but they also rest hard, and they value hygge, which is this element of intimacy and rest and coziness and warmth. The people couldn't be nicer. It's such a walkable and inviting, welcoming city, so highly recommend if this is on your list. I actually loved it in the winter. I know this is off season here. This week was actually uncharacteristically cold, but it was still amazing, and the people were so warm and welcoming. I definitely want to bring back home with me some of these elements of the way that they live here, like really good work-life balance, prioritizing rest, prioritizing comfort, and I'm really going to bring this into my everyday life back in San Francisco. If you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe for more weekly videos on nutrition, health, gut health, acid reflux, IBS, and be sure to give this video a like. Let me know if you want me to share more of my travels as a dietitian and how I take care of my gut while I'm traveling. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.